Hello, welcome to the final week of the 11th season of the BPL Draft League in the Bishop Division. We are going up against our final opponent for the season in a do or die position. We are currently 4-4 with a -1 differential. This is Cobra Chaos's team. I do not think it is the worst matchup we have had throughout the season. I do not think it is the best. I think we are slightly favored going into this game. My main concerns are the fact that Terra Mew is an issue, and Meowscarada is not a Pokemon that I have a plethora of options for. It is extremely fast, and with a choice scarf set like I plan on seeing, I don't really have the best ways to trap it or lock it down or take it out. So we'll have to circumvent that. Rotom Wash is also a problem, but like beyond that, it's just really Nidoqueen and then a potential Pikachu coming in, because with Light Ball, Pikachu's attack stats go to ridiculous proportions. Like it's like something like a 140 base attack, 130 base special attack Pokemon. It's insane, but it is frail, so there are ways to defeat it. That all being said, let's just get straight into the shenanigans. So starting off, we need to deal with Terrapagos somehow and make sure it doesn't sweep. And Zeraora with AV is the best way to do that. We've got as much bulk as I have while still being able to outspeed everything I need to outspeed. Particularly, I forget exactly what it was. Oh yeah, this is just enough speed to outspeed Meowscarada if it's banded. But once again, I am expecting Scarf. I do have thoughts about knocking it off, but I'm not super keen on that because of my Bisharp set. I have Pursuit, Ironhead, Protect, and Knock Off on Bisharp. Bisharp is kind of the key player here, because it really helps. It's my lead first and foremost, because I am assuming it's going to be a Scarf Meowscarada lead. It might not be, and if it isn't, that's fine. Pursuit and Protect allows us to see what Meowscarada chooses for its attack. I'm expecting U-turn right off the bat, but if it isn't, then we're still protected. Like if it's Brick Break, for example, that would be a problem. That was like a thing looming in the back of my head. So I figured Protect is just a safe third move to have on it, and then I threw Knock Off on because, like, why not? Pursuit is just like, if it clicks U-turn, then I take half of its health. And we have Rocky Helm Pelipper to help finish it off. This is just like strictly for contact. It's a nice pivot into Meowscarada. It's not 100% safe because Meowscarada does get moves like Thunder Punch and Flower Trick, which Flower Trick I believe 2-hit KOs this. But if it's choiced, it should be much more easy to manage. We are going Scarfed Adaptability, Basculegion this week, with a physical set, to put up the facade that we're boosted by speed in the rain. But we are not. I have sufficient moves. Right now we're kind of fearful of Mismagius, just because like I don't really have anything to hit it besides like this and like this. I don't want to get burned here, and like nothing else really hits it well. But we also don't take the attacks well on the team so far. But here's actually, before I talk about Rotom, let's go over my Lando set. My Lando set is Terra Poison because I am predicting a Terra Grass Mew, and this will help take hits from Nidoqueen and potentially get rocks up. Lando really hasn't done much, so setting rocks up with a Focus Sash is about the best I expect it to do. It can do some damage with Earth Power Sludge Wave combo, though I don't plan on it being the key player here. I don't know if I mentioned it or not earlier, but we are Terra Fighting just so we can blast Terrapagos with the CC after a Plasma Fist to prevent Terra Starstorm. And I'm just kind of overall pretty scared of that thing clicking Rock Polish. I don't want it to. It's probably going to be able to, but it's AV Zeraora. It should be okay for the most part. But if I get red, it could end poorly. But yeah, as you may notice, we don't have a good Rotom switch in. This gets blasted by Hydro Pump. This could get burned. This gets blasted by Volt Switch, and burn, Volt Switch, Hydro Pump, the whole mix. So I needed a Pokemon that resists electric, doesn't care about getting burned, is ideally resistant to water, and can outspeed Rotom and threaten it with, like, Leech Seed and such. So you may be thinking, well, Ogerpon fits most of those categories. Why not do that? Because it does really, really threaten their team. But I decided to bring Maractus in this do-or-die situation where, like, my hopes of playoffs are revolving around this 1-point Pokemon that I love with all of my heart. I trust it. It is a Water Absorb set with Giga Drain, Leech Seed, Substitute, and Spiky Shield. Spiky Shield is for Meowscarada. Substitute is so I can help check Nidoqueen's speed and Rotom's speed tiers, while still being able to, like, safely throw Subseed up. It's a bit degenerate, but it is the best this thing can do because it is Maractus, and its stats are not great, and its options are very limited, but it has one role to fill here, and that is as a perfect Rotom Wash switch-in. Rotom Wash cannot touch or hinder this thing in any way, shape, or form, and it overall just provides very necessary chip against the entirety of the team, the entirety of Cobra's team. I have Substitute and Rocky Helm here as a combo to specifically bait out Triple Axle from Meowscarada. If I can get that to happen, that's extremely ideal. But, like, we'll see, right? Like, it's a very specific situation that I'm not 100% sure would come up. But, like, Spiky Shield is once again from Meowscarada. Every little contact damage thing you see here is specifically for Meowscarada, because I don't have a good way to deal with that thing outside of Pursuit trapping it. But yeah, Maractus is the entire flesh and blood of this team, which is crazy to say, but I literally didn't have a better answer for Rotom Wash. If it's a Toxic Stall Rotom Wash for whatever reason, then this whole Maractus set just goes kaput. But, like, if he brings Toxic Stall Rotom, props to him, right? With that all being said, I have the Season 11 thing right over there, win or lose. If we win, great. If we lose, oh well. Like, we tried our best. And I will reveal the standings after this game. So here we are. It's about the same team that I figured it would be. I was kind of scared of Mismagius, like I said, but fortunately he did not bring it. Pikachu was the choice instead. And yeah, there's not much more to say. I am predicting a Choice Scarf Meowscarada lead. It could be Banded too. I am concerned about both. And as a result, I will be leading Bisharp. So, without further ado, here we are. Their Terra type is Terra Normal on Pikachu and Terra Grass on Mew, which I pretty much accurately predicted. So let's get into it. First things first, I am always protecting against this thing to scout out what it wants to do. And it does have Brick Break, so thank God for that. In comes Rotom Wash. I hard switched out to Pelipper. He definitely called me switching into Pelipper with this. I figured it was fine either way because we have Maractus with Water Absorb. So here we are. I get a Leech Seed, or excuse me, I get a Substitute off. This allows me to check the speed tiers for Nidoqueen. I see that it is faster than me. I don't yet know the speed tier for Rotom. I have enough speed investment in Maractus to be able to check both. The fact that this thing was faster than me makes me believe it is Life Orb or Scarfed. which I was kind of expecting a Black Sludge set, but considering it didn't recover, I know for a fact it isn't that. So I know that it's either Life Orb or Scarfed. My leading hunch, because of the speed, is Scarfed. Basket Legion is a pretty safe switch into this either way. He does fire off another Ice Beam, and I do not get frozen because it is Sheer Force. I don't know if you noticed in team preview, but my whole team is male, just in case there were any rivalry shenanigans going on. We click Flip Turn here because my hunch is that it is Scarfed. And we go straight back into Maractus. Now I want to check Rotom's speed, ideally, so I click Leech Seed, and we are, in fact, faster than Rotom, which is, like, more and more proof that this Nidoqueen is Scarfed for me. Unfortunately, Terrapodos comes out for free, and we are in a little bit of a frail position. I'm going to get a Leech Seed off, because I don't want this thing doing anything nonsensical, and we are getting the hell out of here. Going into Zeraora, and we take half our health. But fortunately, thanks to the Leech Seed recovery, we are pretty much safe. I am very, very tempted to go Terra Fighting here. I ultimately decide not to, and I go for a knockoff instead, which was a really bad idea, but it knocked off a Power Herb, which means that could have gone a lot worse. It totally could have been a Terrapagos sweep just then, because I don't think I really had anything for that. I would have had to go into Lando here and just, like, click a move like that, burning my Sash. That would have been my best case scenario. But since the Power Herb is burnt, I just switch out to Basket Legion so that Zeraora doesn't die and I can stall out my Leech Seed recovery, get a little bit of health back on Basket Legion, and then head back into Maractus expecting another Earth Power. Because you can't Terra Starstorm in front of Basket Legion. You know, like, if I attack or whatever, then it's just like, you have to Earth Power in this position. You can't Meteor Beam here either, because it's a 2-turn move at this point. So I figured Maractus was a very safe swap into this, and I want to substitute up. I did a calc. I saw that I survived this pretty well, but I knew I wouldn't have much health left. But what's cool is it baits out Meowscarada, which is exactly the situation that I've been hoping for with Pelipper. And we get 1, 2, and 3 hits off of the triple axle. So if he decides he wants to do that again and just basically trade Pelipper for Meowscarada, I am 1,000,000% okay with that. But I click U-turn just in case. I don't want to Roost. I don't think I even have Roost. I don't remember. But it's just really good for pivoting. It allows me to get Maractus back in on Rotom Wash, which is ideal. I know I'm faster, so I click Giga Drain to get my health back, and we take a Volt Switch, which is absolutely fine by me. Meowscarada comes back in. Now, I know that this thing isn't exactly teaming to click Triple Axle again, so I want to feel it out, see what it's going to pick. It's time to reveal Spiky Shield to get some more chip. And sure enough, it is Thunder Punch. No U-turn yet, which is kind of surprising. And we get an extra little bit of damage. And I figure it is free to Leech Seed here because I know they are choice locked. And we are just going to protect again to scout out the choice move that I'm figuring it uses. It is Sludge Wave. We get more chip. And Maractus is back to full HP from being at 6%. We go into Lando, break our Sash, and get some health back. I know that the Sludge Wave can't threaten me. So I get my rocks up. With Terra Poison, because I'm like, I don't really care to Terra Fighting Zeraora anymore in this game. Terrapagos is done. There is no further point to doing that. Rocks are up, and I go back into Maractus, because that is the play. Instead of taking, I could have taken the kill on Rotom here, but if I had, I would have lost good positioning, and it would have made it harder for me to win the game overall. So I just figure we pass up the kill, go into Maractus for positioning, and he goes into Terra Mew. So I figure I'm going to sacrifice Zeraora, actually live a Psychic, which is pretty cool. I go for a knockoff just to get rid of whatever item. It is Rocky Helmet, which is pretty cool to get rid of. He's going to sack Basket Legion here. And we're back into Maractus, because I am more than comfortable fighting anything that comes out with Maractus at this point. Sans Pikachu. Pikachu does not come out. and I click Spiky Shield just to scout out the choice move, which, I mean, I don't really know what this gets the Pikachu in this position, because you were kind of risking getting attacked or whatever. I'm not sure. Maybe it was Lando. I don't know exactly what the point of the switch was, but it works out for me because I can go back into Bisharp. I take basically every hit this thing wants to throw at me. And in comes Meowscarada. It is so chipped at this point, I'm just going to scout out what move it wants to use. Knockoff. I am like, okay, you want to take my Eviolite? You can take my Eviolite. I'm done with this Meowscarada. Goodbye. And in comes, what's-his-face? Nidoqueen. And we just protect to scout out the choice move. Like, double protect is just the correct call. And at this point, the game is pretty much won. There's not much Cobra can do to win in this position. I click Hurricane. Unfortunately, do not get the kill, but I do get the confusion, so I figure I'm safe to sack Maractus here if it's anything wild. Unfortunately, he has Roost, and I forgot about that, so I'm thinking, oh shit, is he about to reverse sweep me with Mew? What's going on here? I'm getting my Leech Seed off, because I don't need that shit happening. Let's see what goes on here. I'm just going to sack Maractus. This thing is not going to do much against Pikachu or Nidoqueen at this point. And I'm like, huh. I actually take those hits really well. Especially with Giga Drain and Leech Seed. Isn't this interesting? Huh. And you already wasted your Tera on Pikachu. I'm very okay with this, you know? Like, I am winning a 1v1 with Maractus against a Mew. Like, holy shit. Like, a bona fide 1v1 Maractus versus Tera Mew in Maractus's favor. I figured sack Pelipper, get Basculegion in, we win the game. It clicks Flamethrower, revealing its final move. No T-Bolt here. And I'm just going to U-turn in for the win. And with that, we have a 5-0. Provided I didn't get burned. Even if I did get burned, I'm pretty sure I kill Pikachu after Rock's damage with a Scarf to Wave Crash. This cannot Extreme Speed me because I am a Ghost type. That is a 5-0 victory for the Desert Resort Hunters Guild, which puts us at the 7th seed right here with a +4 differential. We made it. It was dicey at points, but we did actually manage to secure a playoff. Here are some of our stats. Zeraora and Basculegion were our 2 kill leaders. Basculegion more so, only one that broke 10 kills in the double digits. So Basculegion is the kill leader, Zeraora right behind it. Zeraora is kind of probably the MVP overall of the season. Maractus getting 2 kills, one on Terrapagos, one on Mew is just crazy in that last match. Pelipper was always helpful. Hitmontop was a fucking waste, and so was Enamorus. I couldn't. Ugh, they were just so bad. I just couldn't use them. It felt awful. I didn't really bring Toxapex to as much as I thought it was going to come to. But I don't know. I didn't really enjoy using it too much, and I figured, like, more often than not, there were better solutions. Like, I brought it to some things, but it wasn't, like, my most reliable Pokemon by any means. But it could have done better. It just probably wasn't the right choice for my hands. But Bisharp and Maractus, absolutely the MVPs of that game. Can we just fucking clap for those two? Like, they absolutely made that game. Like, more so Maractus, dude. Maractus drained Terrapagos of, like, over half of its health. Maybe not. It might have been over half its health. It 1v1 Mew. It took half of Nidoqueen's health. It set up for Meowscarada taking half on Pelipper's Rocky Helm with Triple Axle, and took 13 more percent. Like, it took out Rotom Wash. It didn't kill Rotom Wash, but it definitely neutralized the threat. Like, 5 members of Cobra's team just, like, lost at least half of their health because of Maractus. Like, it was insane. Like, Maractus is it did perfectly. It did everything I needed it to do and more. Like, I love this fucking Pokemon so much, dude. I lost sleep over like when I originally cooked up this Maractus set, I lost sleep over this shit. Like, I actually did not sleep that night because I was so hyped about being able to use Maractus. And like this match making playoffs with this Pokemon has absolutely sealed it as my new like favorite Pokemon of all time. Like, it was definitely floating in the top 3, and Umbreon's been my favorite Pokemon of all time for a long time, but I really just think Maractus clinched it with that set. Like, there's no arguing against it. The Pokemon makes me unreasonably happy in just looking at the thing. Like, that match just really seals it. But back to my whole team. Enough gushing about Maractus. Bisharp only came to 1 match. It was a pretty late trade, but it did really, really well. And I have some plans for it in playoffs now that we are confirmed in there. And Ogerpon could have done better if it didn't get frozen in week 8. But I mean, it is how it is, right? That's not Ogerpon's fault. Hitmontop and Amorous both felt like shit, but Ogerpon definitely it shouldn't have those poor of stats. Like, it definitely could have done better. Pelipper's the GOAT. Didn't have that high of KD, but it had a pretty damn good KD for being a support mon. And let's not forget Absol, Mega Absol for week 1. That was the MVP of week 1. Do not forget. It kind of didn't really do much for the rest of the season. Figured, screw it. I'm not using it for anything else. Let's get Bisharp, which, I mean, it still helped, right? We still gotta give it a shout out. Jirachi, MVP of week 6. I still had to trade it because I wasn't feeling it. I just wasn't able to like make perfect use of it with this team. I definitely wouldn't have mind keeping it, but Ogerpon just looks so much better with everybody's rock weaknesses. Girder, I absolutely should have kept over Hitmontop. There was no reason to trade Girder for Hitmontop. I did that trade with Snom. This is Snom right here with Mega Absol. They were kind enough to drop their Electros and pick up Hitmontop for me to trade. I'm just very... I just didn't... It's... Oh, God. The fucking... Hitmontop is just so disgusting. I thought it would be better, but it doesn't even get, like, knockoff or anything. Where am I going? Pokemon stats. But, yeah. As for the MVP race, Terracure ended up sealing the deal with Iceman Bronze team. But we did have one Pokemon in top 10 at 8 with Basket Legion, and then we had another Pokemon in top 20 with Terrazeraora. So that was pretty cool. And of course, Landorus. Oh my god, Landorus. Lando. What's wrong with you, Lando? Why you gotta be so poop? Like 23 points for Terra Lando, and it just didn't do anything throughout the entire season. Negative differential. The games that it succeeded the most in were the games where I brought it out for 1 turn, maybe 2 turns max, and then it never touched the field again. Like, those were the only games where it shone, and it shone because it wasn't doing anything. Like, it did not live up to how many points it costs. And I do almost wish I had terrestrialized Maractus over it. Could have gotten some mileage out of that in more matches, or Basket Legion was another one I was really contemplating being able to Terra. But like, I mean, it is what it is. We still made playoffs, but our week 1 playoffs match is against... We are the 7th seed, so we are up against the 2nd seed, Iceman Braun again, our week 5 opponent. And the matchup is not really fixed on this because this was like post-playoffs. We have the same team as per usual, and Iceman's Braun's team has not changed at all. So, yeah, I will see you later this week for the first playoffs quarterfinal match. Well, not the first playoffs quarterfinal match, but our playoffs quarterfinal match. Um, and yeah, it's not a good matchup for me, but I have a whole new team. I got Ogrepon now. I have Bisharp now, and Hitmon top is an existing threat. So yeah, who knows? It could go well this time. Uh, Rip Girder. Girder's not coming. Jirachi's not coming. We got Ogrepon for Kyurem. Like, I will discuss my strategy next time, but I'm looking at Ogrepon here, and it looks good. So I'll see y'all next week. Since wait, where? No, I don't know. I'll see y'all next week. Congrats to us for making it to playoffs. We won. We did the thing. We did the good. The good was done. Have a good one.